Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, repping the Bengals here. It's been a while since my last show. I thought it would be a lot sooner. I didn't think we would be without a defensive coordinator for 100 days. In my last episode, we knew we were getting Brian Callahan as our offensive coordinator, which I was really happy about. We knew Zach Taylor was coming, hadn't officially been announced yet, but the Super Bowl hadn't taken place yet. And in that video, I said that I wanted Jack Del Rio as our DC. One of the reasons why I really wanted Jack Del Rio, I wanted to create a similar situation to what Sean McVay has at the Rams, where he had Wade Phillips behind him. I wanted an experienced DC with head coaching experience. I thought Jack Del Rio really fit the bill, especially by the fact that he's an aggressive coordinator. He knows how to develop linebackers and runs a 4-3. He fit checked all the boxes for me. The sad thing is he wanted the job. He and Zach had a phone conversation, and there was no meeting of the minds. He wasn't a good fit. I don't know if Zach, whatever the reason was, I can speculate that Zach didn't want to hire his potential replacement. That's pure speculation by me. Well, for whatever reason, Jack Del Rio was not offered the job. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I've tweeted Jack Del Rio and the Bengals multiple times trying to tell them to get together. Didn't happen. So we do have Lou Anarumo, and he has history with Zach. So this might be a blessing in disguise. I've read different reports. We have an extremely young coaching staff and unproven across the board. But as Bengal fans, we've been crying for a change of culture, a change in coaching, and we're going to get it. Blackburns are driving the bus, and we have very young coaches. James Casey, who we brought in as our tight ends coach, former tight end, young and upcoming coach, but certainly unproven. Another young addition to the staff. So we have, unproven coordinators on both ends, and then a head coach that barely has coordinator experience. So it's going to be interesting. But we wanted a change. Guess what, guys? We're getting a change. I'm really excited to see what they can do. A lot of talk about drafting a quarterback. I would really like to see what Zach can do with Andy Dalton this year, if he has that same thing. Believe me, there were a lot of people in Los Angeles crying that Goff was a bust. So until McVay came in and Zach Taylor and these guys started working with Goff. So I'm not closing the door on Andy Dalton. I think we have other needs, and he's our quarterback for this year. We have to give him this year it's his first time on a non-Marvin Lewis staff. So let's cut Andy some slack. Andy was not the reason why we had issues last year. But I don't want this video to be about Andy Dalton. The one coaching hire that I had the biggest problem with was the Turner hire. Turner was the offensive line coach. I wanted Bill Callahan, and I thought we were going to get Bill Callahan when we got his son as our coordinator. Washington didn't want to let him go. I thought maybe we would try to pry him away. We turned and we hired Turner. Turner was the O-line coach during the Bullygate scandal in Miami. Now, I'm not going to hang all that on him because there was a lot of factors going into it, and we now see that Richie Incognito was not very mentally stable. Neither was Jonathan Martin, so maybe that had a lot to do with it, but I'm not going to rely solely on that. But I am going to hold him accountable for his behavior at A&M. This guy ran a 2016 Chalk Talk thing for women, and he put up some really inappropriate slides. I'm in a chat thread with Daddy-O from D&H. If you haven't seen his videos, please check them out. But I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this video watch Yace Boogie and all that, and watch Daddy-O. But he sent me over a link to an article, and I looked at some of these slides. I mean, these sexual innuendos in the slide, at what point did he think that these were appropriate to show to women? It talks about, rules for blocking, and it's spread your legs, and always come in from the front, and finish on top, and there's just all this sexual innuendo, and he has a poem at the end that could be considered offensive to women. That's the whole thing. My issue was common sense. I mean, at what point you're looking at these slides that you're going to show to a room full of women, at what point did you look at those and think that was okay? That worries me. So I'm hoping, I'm cutting Zach slack. He's got history with this guy back in Miami. Maybe this guy's a great O-line coach and exactly what we need. Like I said, that was his first hire out, and it really concerned me. And then we went into this whole issue trying to find a DC. There's been a lot of news about different coordinators that didn't even want to interview with us. You know, Dom Capers, I'm glad we didn't hire him. If we had hired Dom Capers, I would be here right now bashing that hire. If you saw what Colin Kaepernick did to the Packers in the playoffs, you would know that Don Capers is the worst possible fit for us. This guy couldn't stop, and we have Lamar Jackson that we have to deal with. So all you need to do is go back and watch some videos from that playoff game, and you'll see why Dom Capers was not a good fit. He turned us down. I don't care. I didn't want him. A lot of that was just kind of snowballing. They blocked us from Aaron Glenn, but hopefully all of this turns out to be a blessing in disguise, and Lou turns out to be the man. The fact that Zach and Lou work together at Miami, hopefully they have some chemistry and this will work, but we have a very unproven young coaching staff, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it because God knows we didn't get where we wanted to go in the Marvin Lewis. We made progress, but then the last group of years has been some complacency and not doing our job. So while I'm thankful to Marvin, I'm glad to see him go. Good luck in your broadcasting gig. And we're going to see what the future holds for us. I am very happy that we do still have Simmons as our special teams coach. He should actually be a de facto assistant head coach because he's got the most coaching experience on our staff. And I'm also very happy that we still have Van Pelt as our quarterbacks coach. So these are good things. We do have some pieces still there. One other thing I want to touch on is we've got obviously the combine coming up, free agency coming up. We need to extend Tyler Boyd now. He's going into the last year of his rookie contract. He needs to be extended. He needs to be kept. We also need to keep Eifert, but not on any rich kind of contract. His inability to stay healthy and be available means we have to put him on an incentive-laden contract. But I think he wants to stay, and we should give him that other year. We are going to see how the new change of philosophy is going into free agency. Typically, the Bengals are not really aggressive in free agency. We kind of sit back, and we're not an early participant, if at all. And then when we do jump in, we jump in for bargains, which I'm happy about. I don't want to overpay for some of these free agents, but I would like to see us address, maybe before going into the draft, address offensive line. If we're going to spend money, if C.J. Mosley is not franchise tagged, we need to go after him aggressively. It's a twofold. We get a great linebacker that we absolutely need. I mean, can you picture Mosley alongside Vigil plus anybody else we draft? And it hurts the Ravens. So that would be one of those things. If Mosley is not franchise tagged, we have to go after him aggressively. Other than that, we're going to see if there's a change in philosophy with the Blackburns running free agency. So let's see how that goes. In terms of the late hire that I keep reading about, and how we're behind the eight ball because we just announced our defensive coordinator today. That has got nothing to do. The coordinator's not picking anything. He's still been tracking the players going into the combine. So it's not like he's been sitting around in Bermuda not doing anything. He's been getting ready. And most of our personnel decisions come outside that anyway. Zach's been in place. In Duke Tobin we trust. Duke Tobin's been a great drafter. They're the ones doing the bulk of the work. So I'm not concerned about that, but we did want him before the combine, and we do have him before the combine. So that's good. So I'm interested to see how we address free agency. I'm going to apologize for this video running long because I try to keep them around 5 minutes, and I'm already see that I'm at the 9-minute mark. I'm going into trial next week. I do expert witness work. I've got a trial starting next week. So if I'm slow to get back to your comments and answering, I'll do the best I can. But I'm sticking this video up now. Number one, being timely with the hiring today of our defensive coordinator. And also because next week I know I'm not going to be able to get a video up. So here, that's it there. I will put up something more, probably closer to free agency, see how things are going. And once again, let's see how things progress. I can't say what I used to say about Marvin. I'll say good luck being in the broadcast booth, Marvin, but I will say fuck Mike Brown until we get back to the Super Bowl. And hopefully this is a step in the right direction to getting there. So there's a lot of excitement in the fan base with the change. And I'm going to say hooday to everybody, and let's see how free agency goes, okay? And we'll talk soon. Have a good evening, everybody.